Knowledge is what brings us together today.
Technically, their first meeting, it did occur on Twitter, but it counts. I think it counts. If David stays off the golf course and spends more time with Amy than his boyfriends, they will have a good life.
Dave, there are a million reasons, big and small, that I first fell in love with you, and I think of more every day that I spend with you. I love you for your compassion and your kindness, not just to those you know, but equally to strangers you've just met. For your unwavering devotion to the people you love most, your family, your friends, all past, present, and future players of the New York Metropolitans. For your patience and your calming influence, especially while teaching me golf. For dedicating your life and your career to fight for the values and principles that you believe in. For making me laugh so hard every single day, even when I miss a lot of your puns. For relentlessly and supporting and encouraging me, especially when I doubt myself. And for always holding my hand during takeoff and landing and all the bumpy parts in between. I vow to be your biggest cheerleader, whether you're making your next career move or pitching for the young hoppers. I vow to try and be at least half excited as you are about our annual fantasy golf team. I vow to prioritize the green egg in all future real estate transactions and not to hide your bobblehead collection when guests come to stay. I vow to be your faithful partner in crime, especially if the mission involves wearing Joe Biden aviators. And I vow to love you, support you, and care for you every day, no matter what life brings us, and regardless of who wins the Michigan-Maryland football game. I can't believe how lucky I am to have found a partner and a best friend in you. I love the life that we've built together, and I can't wait for what's ahead.
Amy, I could count all the ways that I love you, but our guests want hors d'oeuvres. So let me list a few. I love the way that you treat your friends and family, how you empathize with them, care for them, stick up for them, even if that means throwing haymakers at large men during 80s cover band shows. I love your curiosity, how when you try something new you go all in, leave no stone unturned, and commit yourself to a new adventure, even golf. I love your competitiveness, like how you unfriend all your Michigan State friends from Facebook every fall, or refuse to trade me sheep for wheat even when it's in your own self-interest. I love your sense of humor, and that you tolerate mine. Life is pretty good when your best friend can make you laugh every day. I love you, and vow to support you in all your endeavors, even if you take up rollerblading again. I vow to yell, "Go Blue," at anyone wearing Ohio State gear and never hold the door open for them. I vow to order the other thing on the menu that you wanted to try, so you can have both. I vow to save the style section for you. When we go running, I vow to always offer that you can go ahead of me, even though you never do. I vow to never delete DVR'd episodes of Say Yes to the Dress, even though you're not in the market anymore. I vow to be an above-average Little League coach for our kids. I vow to choose to love you and care for you every day, and to be your partner whenever adventures lie ahead.
So now comes the portion of the ceremony where I need a little assistance, because despite what you may have heard and what I may have told people at the reception last night, I am neither a clergyman nor a rabbi nor an ordained judge in the eyes of Virginia law. So to help make this real, we have brought former Mayor of Charlottesville, Dave Norris, who I will be tapping on now to come make this official.
Thank you, Scott. Dave, Amy, I am delighted to be with you here today. We will now seal this marriage commitment with exchange of rings. Really? will start with you. And as you place the ring, well, we'll you know what? Amy, as you place the ring on Dave's finger, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a seal of my commitment to love, honor, and respect you today, tomorrow, and always. And Dave, as you place the ring on Amy's finger, please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a seal of my commitment.
Give you this ring as a seal of my commitment.
To love, honor, and respect you.
To love, honor, and respect you.
Today, tomorrow, and always.
Today, tomorrow, and always.
Amy and Dave, before these witnesses, you have pledged your love and your commitment to each other. And so now, by the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, it is my great honor and pleasure to pronounce you husband and wife.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I go black and blue, I go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.
I've been asked to announce that the Walnutty Slutties will hold a Jello Wrestling World Championship rematch on the lawn after we've all had a few drinks. Amy's wearing the cardboard championship belt under her gown and says she doesn't intend to lose it.
Amy went totally south on the dating front through high school, through college, even when she moved to DC. So when she called a couple of years ago, casually mentioned that she was dating a guy, and casually invited us to DC to meet him, we knew it had to be serious.
I recall Dave being a little nervous on that trip. He didn't touch any of the homemade cookies that Nancy brought. A serious fail on his part. But he drank a lot during the first dinner out. So Nancy decided he had potential. The only other time I've seen Dave nervous drink was the night he stopped by to talk with us about proposing to Amy. He was working on the campaign at the time and living in Brooklyn. Nancy, of course, knew what was going on the minute Dave called to ask if he could stop over. She was all happy wiggly and waiting for him to arrive. I was not. Sorry, Dave. It was hard for me to walk Christine down the aisle to Mike and then step aside. As much as we loved Mike, I didn't want to do it again. In the hours before Dave arrived, I couldn't help but think about my child. Random memories. Jogging with her when I was still faster. Very long time ago. The public tantrums she threw ages 2 through 5. We have photo albums full of evidence. Cheering for her at high school track and cross-country meets. More important milestones, like supporting her by letting her go when she insisted on big city internships, even knowing she was too stubborn to admit that she felt alone and terrified. The day she was born. Then I thought about Amy since she met Dave. She was happy, of course, but she was also content. They laughed easily as they riffed off each other. They quietly supported each other. I'd come to think of them as together, as two people with a strong and natural connection. So I thought back to that poor high school kid in my doorway a long time ago. Sorry. Emotional paper. When Dave finally mustered the chutzpah to say he wanted to marry my daughter, I said sure. But first you have to live with us for 3 months. In a 2-bedroom New York City apartment. We told everyone it was because Billy moved, but really it was a condition negotiated over cigars and Pabst Blue Ribbon in our rooftop garden. In all seriousness, Nancy and I cherished those months that we had with Dave. I'm certain it was not easy for him, working long and stressful days, then coming home to his future in-laws. I'm hoping the bourbon helped. We got to know the Dave that Amy fell in love with. He's thoughtful and he's gracious, unusual in a young man, unusual in an old man in my case. He's passionate about things that are important to him. He's fun and he's funny. He's patient. He's generous. I know, I've got to turn a page at the good part. So, I enjoyed the walk down the aisle today. For the second time, I've learned that my family has gotten bigger, not smaller. So, Dave, welcome to the family. Amy, it's time to get your own damn phone plan. Nancy and I love you both.
Father of the groom, and I've known Steve Crosby now for 2 years, and I really thought this was going to be an easy act to follow. Apparently I was wrong. Good job, Steve. I'd just like to remind everybody with a cell phone, please turn it on. Likely to be very boring. And I totally echo the sentiment, Steve, about the cell phone plan. Dave, it's time you got your own damn cell phone plan. And Billy. And Phyllis. And David Fink and Patsy and anyone else I ever did. Okay. Before I begin, I just want to acknowledge Phyllis. My wife, I guess you heard, we were half of the 80 years. We're going to be 41 years in 3 days. And to each other, not just married, but to each other. And I'll try not to be serious for the rest of this, but I have never met anybody who personifies graciousness and class more than Phyllis does, from her head down to her toes. She's just been a delight. It's been that way for a very long time. Did you see Steve's? His was all typed out and stuff. Not. My niece Erin, who you heard from before, asked me, you know what, I can't read this because I don't have questions. Asked me if I was speaking tonight, and I told her yes. She said I had made her cry at Christy and Billy's wedding last year. So I'm not sure if she's looking forward to this. I'll try not to make you cry again. But I promise no crying, and I hope not to bore you to death. To begin, Steve and Nancy, thank you for putting such a great wedding together. This is just an extraordinary event, and I know Amy was a huge part of this. Look at this venue. It's a cliche to talk about the weather, but they did bury the bourbon, and we got weather guaranteed. We can't have a more perfect evening than this. Very similar, actually, to our wedding last July when Billy and Christy got married. And actually, for those of you who are afraid of heights, it's actually a little higher with a more winding road, but equally as beautiful. So thank you, Steve and Nancy. But for more than the wedding, I know I'm boring you, Ruth, I'm sorry. But I want to thank you for Amy. If a parent's wish is to have their child have a perfect mate for life, Amy fills that. For Phyllis and me. Did I screw that up? So by now, I guess we all know that Virginia's for goobers, but honestly, so is everywhere, not just Virginia. The world embraces both of them because they both embrace the world. It's wonderful to observe this. I fell in love with Amy Crosby a few years ago. She was the catcher, Dave the pitcher, and Colleen the third base person. Not baseman, right? Third base person. In a softball game they played behind the White House. They lost the game in extra innings. Everyone was bummed, and as we were walking off the field, Amy turned to me and asked, "You didn't bet on us, right?" Amy's very quick, maybe even as quick as Dave. So driving down to Charlottesville a few days ago, I choked on some bottled water. A few minutes later, I choked on some bottled water again. Dave asked me if I was seeing anyone about my drinking problem. Had to put up with this for soon to be 33 years. Dave was also very quick in math. When he was 6 or 7 years old, I'd give him some numbers to add up, like 3,241 plus 8,716 plus 211. In a few seconds, he'd come up with the answer. Yet I'd ask him, 97 minus 2. And I'd hear, no minuses. Truth be told, Dave, unlike Billy, was not the best student in high school. I actually can't recall ever having seen him study. Sports and friends occupied his time. Anyhow, one day in his sophomore year, we learned that he got an 800 on his PSATs. The principal of the school called and asked, "What the hell was that?" I answered, "Probably no minuses." Just take a seat here someplace. Okay. So here's where maybe some crying may come in. We all know what a great athlete David is. He lettered in football, basketball, and baseball all 4 years of high school. That may have been a record, I'm not sure, but anyway, it was quite an extraordinary feat. At the sports awards dinner, it wasn't a dinner, it was a presentation, Ted Lawrence's coach for almost all of those years said the following: I have 3 sons. If any of them grow up to be anything like David Duberstein, I will consider myself to be a lucky man. Phyllis and I, of course, both cried. So this is what Ted Lawrence was referring to. Dave has always been about helping his teammates succeed. It made him happy. Now it's the same with his friends, all of them, all hundreds of them, and he has time for every one of them. I think you heard that theme from Scott earlier, and it's absolutely true. I've never met anybody with more friends, and they're not just acquaintances, they're good friends. It's extraordinary. Amy, who has 1 billion friends, hi Luke, Amy has 1 billion friends, and she's even marveled at David's friends. And it's not just his contemporaries. It's everybody. Okay, you can tell a lot about a person by the friends they have, and they're all great. Every one of them, perhaps with the exception of Elon Ben Shlomo. They are all smart, funny, wonderful kids, except perhaps for Elon Ben Shlomo. They took care of me last month at Erin Hills and Whistling Straits. A lot of hard, grueling golf. When I say they took care of me, they kept sending the cart girl out with double vodkas before 10 a.m. Actually, that was Elon Ben Shlomo. Golf is hard enough sober. And it's not just Dave's contemporaries. Ken Kruzan, Doug Maxwell, Alan Rothschild, Irv Beitler, Bill Kelly. I'm pretty sure to them, they have to think of Dave as a contemporary, not Donnie's son. Bill Kelly tells the story often about Dave at his son Brad's birthday party. The kids were probably 7 or 8 playing in the basement. And to his surprise, up walks David, sits down, and spends the afternoon watching the Masters together with him. I don't think he popped a beer, but I wouldn't put it past him. A recurring theme in our lives is golf. From the time they were old enough to walk, the kids, Phil and I played golf and competed at golf. Phil still speaks about the time she beat the 3 of us at Half Moon Bay. It was 1998. She reminds me of it almost every day. This is different from last year when I tried to do this extemporaneously with Billy and I was booed off the stage. For those of you who don't know it, Dave proposed to Amy on the 18th green of the ocean course at Kiowa Island. He did it by having Amy tend the flagstick while he putted 4 golf balls toward her. Will you marry me? And he got it all on his GoPro. She said yes. And so now Amy has her own set of golf clubs, is taking lessons, and is well on her way to becoming as neurotic as the rest of us. Christy, you can't be far behind. Here's the thing about both of them. They will always be happy because they derive their happiness from giving. So Amy and Dave, Phyllis, Billy, and I wish you a life of happiness with no minuses.
Hello. I'm Christine, sister of the bride.
Hey, Chris.
be happy to know I only have 2 pages, so we shouldn't have any trouble flipping through them. For those of you who know me well, you know my tendency to procrastinate. It was hard to write a speech for my little sister's wedding. So of course I procrastinated until the only time remaining was spent lying in a playpen with my 1-year-old screaming and trying to share his pacifier with me. It was hard to know which direction to take with this speech. Should I talk about all the sage older sister advice I've provided throughout the years? Amy, you should stop jumping on the bed. It's gonna break. For those of you who haven't heard that story, it broke. Should I talk about memories from high school? Using our newfound freedom of a driver's license to go to Tasty Twist for ice cream cones with sprinkles? Or driving to school in the dark in a snowstorm with the high beams on so it felt like we were flying through space? Should I talk about our son Parker and what an amazing aunt you are? By the way, I tried real hard to get him to say Amy before the wedding. He came close. He said cat. Should I give marital advice? Just tell you to both have fun, enjoy each other, and remember why you both chose to make this commitment. And I think I'm supposed to talk about Dave too. Should I say something embarrassing or something mushy about how happy he makes my sister, or how we consider him part of the family, or how great it is to see how much fun he has with Parker, or how much fun Parker has with Dave's beard? And in the end, I decided to keep it simple. Amy, you're an amazing sister, daughter, friend, aunt, and now wife. You're strong and intelligent, caring and kind, and you managed to find someone as quick-witted as you. It's obvious to all of us that love you how happy Dave makes you, and you deserve that. Dave, it feels like you've been part of the family for so long, in a good way. And I know Mike couldn't ask for a better brother-in-law to wear matching Roots sweatshirts with. You're funny and loving, supportive and generous, and I couldn't imagine a better husband for my sister. Amy and Dave, I love you both so much. I wish you a life filled with love, laughter, and adventure.
All right. Chris's speech is 2 pages, mine is 0, as you can tell. First of all, before I get into this, I want to thank everybody for their congratulations for not losing the rings earlier in the half an hour that I had in my possession. About 50 people have come up to me since the ceremony. Thank you for all your support. So, Chris touched on this a little bit, but when you are an older sibling, not only do you get a built-in best friend growing up, but you sort of inadvertently become a coach, mentor, father figure of sorts. I live in LA, so life coach or Senjali. And back when Dave was smaller than me, so this is about 1989, I knew that, I had known by then that life was full of rough patches and that I had to toughen him up. So we would play goal line in our bedroom. We had a twin bed each in our bedrooms and a giant beanbag. And so one of us would play running back, the other would play linebacker armed with the giant beanbag, and we would run at each other full speed, jump over the twin bed, and pretty much slam into each other for hours. I had to toughen him up. Later on, he became taller than me, and I stopped playing that game. And so I had to become a role model to him on the field of sport. I was 3 years older than Dave, so we couldn't play on the same team, unfortunately. But in the fall, I played football. I had a storied middle school career as free safety until Grant Savage gave me a concussion and I had to hang up my football cleats in the 8th grade. And that's why I am the way I am today. In the fall, I started hanging out with the goth kids. Kind of a change of pace. But clearly, Dave saw me practicing every day. He would throw the ball around with me, so obviously I cleared the path for him to become starting quarterback of the varsity football team his junior and senior year. I like to take credit for that. In the winter, I played basketball. I did a little better this time. I was the all-important 6th man on the junior varsity team my sophomore year. Once again, leading by example, Dave, clearly watching closely, later became starting point guard of the varsity team junior and senior year. But my best sport was baseball in the spring. I was the second baseman on the JV team and sometimes the backup on the varsity team until I realized that the guy in the grade above me was probably going to college on a baseball scholarship, and I switched to golf, where I became the number 2 on the golf team, varsity this time. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. But all those hours of practice when I was trying to make varsity, obviously that paved the way for Dave to become the number 1 starting pitcher on the varsity baseball team, junior and senior year. And then yesterday he beat me at golf. So I also taught him the life lesson that we can't all be professional athletes. But we can have great friends and have special moments. This is certainly one of them. So I went off to college, and in high school I came up with some of the greatest guys you'll ever met. Some of them here tonight: Ethan, Dave, Pepper. Pepper was the guitar player before. Pretty much the coolest guys you can ever have as friends. Dave has about 10 times the amount of friends that I do, just as cool. And then he stole Ethan, Pepper, and Dave away from me, and they're all better friends with him now. And then I also tried to be a role model in my career. I showed them how to hang out with famous people. I'm a financial advisor now, but earlier in life I took a stab at the film and television industry. One of my first jobs, I worked on a big movie that no one ever saw, starring Colin Farrell and Christian Bale. And I taught Dave how to hobnob with famous people. So then obviously, a few years after Dave got out of school, who did he go to work for? Barack Obama. And then by the time my bachelor party and wedding rolled around, I had learned a lesson and just gave the job to Dave. It was pretty clear he was better at everything in life than I was at this point. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. You guys come to me, maybe we could do something. But he was able to wrangle all of my East Coast friends from Maine down to DC, convince them to dress up as famous Bills from old movies. Dave Wilds came in a skirt and an afro as Billie Jean King. That wasn't that big of a stretch for Dave, though, he said. Every other Saturday. Took me around to all the distilleries and breweries in Brooklyn that I'd never gone to, despite living there for 2 years, and then to a Mets game. It was a night to remember, to say. And then Dave, not to be outdone, had people fly all the way across the country to the middle of Wisconsin for a weekend that will be talked about for ages for the best golf courses you'll ever play, and also the best mashed potato eating contests you'll ever witness. No one gets that except for the guys who are there. And then he met me. Before that. Good point, thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for your support. Dave, I was a little bit nervous. I was wondering if Dave was ever going to find someone, because he likes to do really stupid things like CrossFit and running marathons and whatever that thing in the mud in the woods you guys did a couple years ago together. So I'm like, well, whatever girl Dave ends up with is going to have to be an Olympic athlete, or that pretty much narrowed the field to that. Also, we Dubers like to pride ourselves in our senses of humor. I don't know if you can tell. And Dave pretty much is the funniest out of all of us. So I didn't know if anyone was going to be able to live up. But then you met Amy, who, according to her Fitbit, runs 87 miles per day. And I have to say, it's funnier than Dave. Sorry, Dave. So I'm so glad that Dave found your perfect match, and she does not make fun of me to my face, so I like her even better. As you can see, I'm very proud of Dave and Amy and the couple they have become, and I like to take as much credit as I can for who they are, because they're just wonderful people. So, l'chaim, and thank you, everybody.
You're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. 'Cause you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. 'Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. 'Cause in the sky, 'cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. You're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Oh, oh, oh. 'Cause you get light.